Hello and good afternoon, everyone. So welcome and thank you again for joining our free online lessons. So my name is Nabi Fikri, an application engineer from MK System. So for today's free online lessons, I would like to share you a little bit of features inside of Fusion 360, which is called Arranged. Right. So before we proceed, just to show you a little bit on the promotions for the Fusions. So for this month's for up until at the end of this month. So Autodesk has a promotion for Fusion 360 purchases. So if you purchase 2 Fusion 360 license, you will get an extra one. Right. So if you buy 2 seats of Fusion 360s, so you will get 3 instead. Right. So this promotion lasts until 31 October this month. So if you're interested, you can contact our sales teams. Right. So that's about it. So let's get started. Right, so the arrange features inside of Fusion 360 is the same tools that allow you to arrange a shape, right? So something like a nesting software. Right, but arrange features is actually a separate software with the, actually a separate tools compared to the already existing nestings. Right, but it does the same, but it's much more easier and much more less complicated. Right, so again, similarly with the nesting features, it's allowing you to lay out cutting patterns to minimize raw materials. Right, if you try to put all of the items here one by one into one flat items, so that will take a lot of times. So arrange features will allow to calculate and put the puzzle inside here automatically. So basically, there are 2 things that we are going to take a look here using the arrange tools. So first thing is we want to insert our objects and try to manipulate the positions and also the rotations. And we also want to manage our envelope size, which is the size of the raw materials that we will be laying out into. Right, so let me show the Fusion 360 from here. Right, so I believe you can see my screen here. So what I have here is this wooden box here, which is creating by using several woods. And what I'd like to do here, I would like to lay out a cutting patterns to nest it. Right, so again, the arrange features is actually a separate tools from the nest. So the arrange can be found under the design here. Then you can find for the modify here, and then you have this arrange tool from here. But while the nesting software, you can still find it under the manufacturing environment. And if you go to the fabrication here, you still have the nest tool here. Right? It's actually a same purpose, but different tools. All right, so first thing is, if you don't find your arrange features from here, so you can see under the preference here and make sure to go to the design and enable the arrange and simplify tools. Right, you can turn on and it should be able to apply from there. Another key note that I would like to share you about is that currently I'm using the manufacturing extension tools. So if we find from here, we have a few type of extension tools. One of them is for the machining. So currently, the arrange tool that I have is also included and some extra tools from the extension machining. So if you don't have the extension for machining, you still can use the arrange tool, but some of the tools here will be a lot less things that you can do. Right? So there may be some missing buttons, but you still be able to use arrange. So let's see what the arrange can do. So if I turn on the arrange, so first thing is I have this solver type. So I have 3 different solver. So currently there are only one, which is 2D shapes, but I have turning on for the samples for the future ones. Right. So if I go back to the preference again, I have this preview feature. So preview feature is something like a demo for the upcoming. Right, so I have turned on some of the new features that will be added later on for this. right? So I have turned this one on, and I should be able to see some of these extra features, including for the 2D rectangle and 3D array, right? Something like a beta versions, but the arrange tool is already added inside of Fusion. So let's take a look on what we can do from here. So right off here, so we have three. So the first one is a bit common one that people will use. This one allow you to lay out a cutting shape into a envelopes, and you allow it to rotate at different degrees. Some degree will be automatically rotated as well. But if you have certain machines that only allow for one type of axis, right? Maybe that particular shape does not able to turn, then you can use 2D rectangle instead. Basically the same tools, but it's fixing the axis or the angles of the patterns. And the third one, we also have the 3D arrange. Not only that you can do for the 2D area, you can also arrange for the 3D area as well. So this is just a samples what the 3D arrange actually does. So once I click here, I can specify my envelopes. Right, so let's say I select at this area inside here. And the first thing, of course, I need to specify all of my items from here. Right, so it will automatically arrange on the area that required. Right, so you can see some of these angles is actually vertical. It's because we are under 3D arrange. Right, so usually you might want to use 2D true shapes for manufacturing. So I'm not quite sure what the purpose for 3D arrange, but this can be used, for example, if you're designing a closet, right, that you have a confined space that you want to adjust. Let's see whether a certain item can be fully fit inside, then you can use this 3D arrange to automatically arrange inside there. Then you can specify your size of your box much clearer. Right, so this is 3D arrange, not much to see from here. So let me just, let me just remove this one first. And let's take a look at the 2D arrange from here. Right, so I'm selecting the 3D shapes. So again, to start off, I can select everything from here. Maybe I can select one by one as you can, but I just want to select everything from here. So directly it will select all of this item from here as well. Right, so once we have selected, so it giving us this area that I can choose from here. So let me just, okay, let me just remove this comment here. All right. So from here, I have the list of components that I have. But before we take a look here, we go into the envelope first, which is the area of box that we see from here. Now, from the arrange here, we have two different types of envelope that you can choose. One, if you have a sketch, you can use sketch. But for this case, I haven't created a sketch yet. So we start off by selecting a plane first. Right, so I'm selecting these planes. And I can specify the plane area from here. Maybe the length, I would like to make it slightly longer, let's say around 250. So it becomes slightly longer. And maybe the width, maybe I want to make it slightly shorter. So I can also just change the value from here as well. Right, so you can also adjust the offset. So let me just make it distant from the original item here so that I can see my item clearly from. Right, so down here we have the limit envelope. So what the limit here actually does is actually allowing you to manually insert the value of your envelope here. So currently we have 2. So the reason why it automatically give me 2 because I untick the limit here. So whenever my item does not enough to fit inside the box here, automatically it will create the new envelope at the size. So I can turn this one on and I set it to 1, so I only see 1. So if I set 3 or 2, so other envelope that other object that's not able to fit inside one envelope will create the new envelope. So let me just set back to 1. Other things that I'm able to do here is that I can allow for partial range. Partial range meanings is what I see here. Let's say if there are other items that that's not able to fit inside here, so it will not include, and it will also give me this red color here, indicate that this item does not able to be included inside here. Right, so I can turn this one on if I only have one board, or I just want to manage the area inside here easily. Then I can just use this allow for a range angle. But so if I turn off, so it will turn it off all of this. So indicate that there are error because I haven't fit all of this inside, then it will not fit any of this. Right? Maybe I need to make some changes here, just make it a little bit longer. So now it's able to fit. Now I know that there are no items missing. So if I were to choose allow partial range, maybe there are small components that not be able to fit inside. I don't know that particular items because it will just show what I have. Right. So down here, let's see what are the things that has been included inside here as well. So that we have the placement clearance. So this is basically if you want to make some gap from the bottom here. So maybe your stock material or your raw material is actually a lot thicker than that. Then you can specify. Then you can specify the placement clearance from here. Let's say around 5, for example. So it will be in place from the bottom here, right? So that is for the clearance. Other things that I can do from here is that I can also adjust the alignments or the rotation for this. Maybe all of this will have around 45 degrees angle, so I can change the green direction from here to 45 degrees. So everything will be turned into 45 degrees. Now, obviously, there are some items is missing. So if I turn off, so it will give me this error. Or I can just turn off the limit, so it will give me the seconds envelope that can be filled for the next one. Right. So let me just change this one back into 0. You can turn this one, the angle manually one by one. That one you can do under the object here, but let's take a look at other things that we can do from here first. So the next thing that we can do is the spacings. So just to show you for the envelope spacing, let me just reduce the size so that I can see what are the things that can be changed from here as well. So the first spacings that we can control is the frame width, which is the frame from the outside here into the actual object. So you can see the thickness here is actually 5, which is the frame width from here. So if I change it into 10, for examples, so it will become a lot thicker and it will not be able to fit some of these items inside. So maybe I would like it to have less space from the frame of the envelope. I can just put 1, for examples. So it will become at the edge, or maybe 0. So it will go directly at the space of that particular area. So for this case, let me just set it to 2. So the next things that I can specify is the object spacings, which is the spacing between one object to another. So if you see here, there are quite a lot of space between these two. So let's say if I set it to 1, then you should be able to see there are smaller space between these two, small gap, and several other items can be fit inside because we have more space once we have reduced the gap between two objects. So if I give it more, let's say 1 times, maybe because I have a CAM machine tools with a 10 millimeters tools diameters that will not be able to fit, then I can just use from here. Right. And the last one is the envelope spacing, which is spacing between one envelope to the next one. So I believe this one will not make much impact if you want to manufacturing these items. But for here, if you would like to just able to see clearly between two different envelopes, then you can change the value from. Right, so that is for the envelope, so you can change using the planes. So later on, we will take a look at the sketch. But let's take a look at some of the things that we can do from here as well. Is that, so I can change for the global rotations, which is actually create from here, but I can also specify whether different type of rotation form. Other things, I can also specify the global quantity. So everything I would like to have 2 copies of this. So everything will have 2 copies. So I have 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these, and the others. Maybe I would like to have 5, 3 or more. So I can just change the value from here. So I have more copies for each of these individual items. Right, so that is the global quantity. So we just reduce back to 2. Other things that you can do is that you can rotate. So the first thing is the global rotation, which is actually controlled by the value of the grain direction from here. If you want to select the item's rotation one by one, you can select the component from here. Right. So let's say this is the component that I have selected, and I would like to make some rotation angle from here. So I can select at the bottom here and just rotate it around 45 degrees, for examples. And you see the rest of these items still remain the same angles, except for this one, right? Because it's actually created using one item. So only this one is changed the angle. Other things that you can do from here is that you can specify the filler. Right, so what the filler actually does is allow you to take several other things that you want to fill in on that area. Right, so for example, let me just reduce some size for the spacing here just to see it much clearly. Maybe around 2 millimeter only. So it's right, so I'm trying to save up some space here, so only 2 millimeter that I'm allowed. So I still have some other space which is left, and I want to fill in that area as well. So I can select other items that I like. So for this case, I want this item here. So I believe this is component number 7, and I want to fill it for the rest. So I can select the fill. So it will fill in as long as it's able to reach at this empty area. So it will try to fill. Right, so maybe some other item as well. So I can just select and try to fill, and I can also set the priority to which one I want to fill in first. Right, so that is the things that you can do with the range. Right, so let me just press OK, and the range will be done right over here. Right, so this is created using the plane. Right, so let's say if I have a remnant of raw materials. Maybe I already cut that raw material and I have some leftover. So for that case, let's say I create a sketch. Let's say I have this wood that has been cut on certain angles. So this is the raw material that I have left. And maybe I also have some holes inside here that I have cut to create for different type of material. So once I've picked this one, so I can finish, and I can specify, let's say I want to fill in for this area. So again, I can use the range features. So let me just set this back to 1. All right, so this is true shapes, right? So I'll select this in this one, and I can select the envelope is sketch, so which is this one. So when I select it, it's automatically creates. So another thing that I open up from here is the auto preview from here. So if you have less items, so you can turn on this auto preview, but if you have too many parts, so you might want to uncheck the preview from here, because it will take a long time to put that item from here before you manually put that particular item inside. All right, so you see here I have put, so other type of setting is basically the same. You can change the spacings, you can change the rotation from here, but let's say if I click OK, And if I see here, I have, okay, I believe everything, all of the object has been placed inside. But let's say if I have much smaller sketch, I can change directly from here, and you will see automatically it will be updated. Right, so this sketch can be automatically updated based on the size that required for this, including this hole as well. So if you see here, all of the parts here will try to not put inside of holes. So it understood that there are holes inside. If I try to move this hole as well, so automatically it will try to update to the required part. So for this case, I believe I have everything has been included inside here. So once I've changed this area. So you see it's automatically updated, even though I've made some changes from here. Let's say this is my final shapes. So other things that you can do from here is that, let's say I would like to edit my items. So this item will be automatically applied on all of my arranged items here. So let me let's see if I make some big holes inside here. Right, so if I finish sketch and I'm extruding this area inside here, and I want to cut, then you see automatically it's updated in real time, so I don't have to redo back again this thing one by one. Right, so that is the arrange features that you can do inside of Fusion 360. Now, once I have done this, then I can move forward to the manufacturing. Maybe I want to cut it using milling machines, or maybe using the laser cuttings. Then I can just proceed to set up my my raw materials and my stock from here. Right, so that is pretty much it about the arrange tools inside of the inventor, inside of the Fusion 360. Right, so thank you everyone. So I believe that is all that I like to share you. So thank you for joining, and I hope I can see you guys again on our next free lessons. So thank you everyone, and have a nice day. Bye bye.